The holidays are approaching and the rivalries are brewing. We've got high school boys basketball coming your way from the Joe Mauer Fieldhouse at Cretin-Derham Hall in St. Paul. Tonight, one of the biggest rivalries on the calendar, the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders hosting the St. Thomas Academy Cadets. Cretin-Derham Hall, the defending 4A state champions, and St. Thomas Academy off to a rocketing start. They sit number 5 in the Class 3A rankings. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden alongside Ahmil Jihad. Ahmil, you've won your fair share of trophies, Twin Cities state tournament titles. The John Ireland Trophy is what's up for grabs tonight between these two schools, and no matter where the teams are, a rivalry game like this brings a little bit extra.
Oh yeah, parochial school ball is always interesting. St. Thomas Academy and Cretin-Derham Hall, two rivals, two strong benches, very athletic lineup. I'm looking forward to a great game.
And a lot of players to look forward to. For Cretin-Derham Hall, you've got Jaeden King, the Western Illinois recruit. He can shoot lights out from three-point range. And Tre Holliman, the freshman, averaging nearly 10 assists per game. And his mother tells me if Cretin-Derham Hall's efficiency goes up on the offensive end, he might push that number even higher.
Well, we know Tre's quite the athlete, but Curtis Jones, the transfer from South, is the one that I'm going to be keeping my eye on tonight. Outstanding long-range shooter. Averaged a couple of, I want to say 2 or 3, he had 2 or 3 double-doubles last year that I noticed in the conference. We went against him twice. As you know, I'm the head coach at Edison, and he was a problem for us last year. So Curtis Jones is going to be on my radar immediately.
And he caused some problems the last time I was here when Cretin-Derham Hall beat North St. Paul. St. Thomas Academy, they were not even in the top 20 when the preseason polls came out, and a bevy of big wins, including Robbinsdale Cooper, has changed that. They sit at 5-1. They've got an all-around talent in Jack Thompson and Noah Chamberlain.
Absolutely. Well, Jason Burr, I know the history on Jason Burr, and he's an outstanding young coach. Was over at North St. Paul via North Dakota School of Science. So he's been all over the place coaching. I know he's going to have his guys ready to go. He also has Tyrone Doman on the bench and Percy Wade. So there's a lot of experience on that bench, a wealth of experience on that bench, Mike.
We're looking forward to seeing that experience firsthand. We'll be back shortly. This is high school boys basketball. If you'd like to sponsor a TSP television broadcast, Patreon is the place. Sponsorships start at just $1 a month. Visit patreon.com/TSP television and make a pledge for premier Twin Cities sports coverage.
Our colors tonight are presented by Cretin-Derham Hall Color Guide.
Always something special when the color guard takes part, and students are filing in. There is a pregame bonfire out at the football field, one of the traditions, and as you mentioned in the open, parochial schools and traditions go hand in hand. This is one of 2 annual rivalries Cretin-Derham Hall takes part in every year, St. Thomas Academy, and in mid-February they face De La Salle. I know that series has produced a lot of memorable moments. They're introducing the starters. We'll do the same for St. Thomas Academy. They'll start Thomas Meleben, number 1, the senior. Tony Wright, number 2, a senior. Jack Thompson, number 3, another senior. Thomas Odegaard, a senior, and Noah Chamberlain, a senior. A senior heavy lineup for STA. Cretin-Derham Hall, they start 1 through 5, quite literally. Amari Carter, Jaeden King, Curtis Jones, Karsten Broadley, and Tre Holliman. And for Cretin-Derham Hall, he doesn't start, but Will Burke can be an X factor for this team. He played that role against North St. Paul last week in a game won by the Raiders. Will Burke made a lot of hustle plays, O-boards, extending possessions, and that helped Cretin-Derham Hall hold off a North St. Paul rally late to win that one 80-76. In the case of Cretin-Derham Hall, they've dropped back-to-back games. They lost to East Ridge 83-71, and then a surprising loss to White Bear Lake 69-68. I spoke with Jerry Klein Jr., Cretin-Derham Hall's head coach, beforehand. He told me in that game, Cretin-Derham Hall missed 23 pointers and 9 free throws, and in a 1-point game, all of those misses add up. But it speaks to the youth on this team compared to a year ago.
I'm really interested to see how this is going to work. I want to see how well Jones is going to mesh. It looks like he's put on a little weight and some size here. And Cretin features 3 guys in the starting lineup over 6 feet tall.
Well, the student sections are out in full force. And as Phil Archer, Cretin-Derham Hall's athletic director, told me, there's a bit of intensity between these two. This was a rivalry dominated by Cretin-Derham Hall over the last several years, going back to the last decade or so. As we wait to tip things off.
Looks like Amari Carter's going to be jumping for Cretin.
We'll jump with Noah Chamberlain, and we're underway. And speaking of annual rivalries, another one taking place tonight. De La Salle and Benilde St. Margaret's, they play a doubleheader every year right before the Christmas holiday.
Well, that's great defense, St. Thomas, not backing it up. Whoa. Got beat on the back.
Amari Carter gets us started.
They actually made Cretin reset their offense. Both teams coming out man here, Mike.
Bounce pass, 3-ball. Chamberlain missing from the corner. Rebound, Holliman. This kid was 3 assists shy of a triple-double in the first game of the year. Jaeden King, bullseye. Jaeden King told me shooting came naturally to him, and there's Curtis Jones, the Minneapolis South transfer, with the steal. He'll launch for 3, and that's long, and STA will let that bounce out of bounds for a dead ball rebound.
You can hear Klein clear across the gymnasium here. He's got quite the voice. You gotta love that.
A highly vocal coach, a state tournament champion, the first in 25 years for Cretin-Derham Hall, and what a team they had a year ago. A thrilling victory over Apple Valley. And speaking
nice
of different
move.
looks.
Nice move.
And you know this, you coached Taylor Hill for several years at Minneapolis South, how much can change. I'll get to that in a second. We've got Jaeden King feeling it from the perimeter. But Cretin-Derham Hall going through a transition, Apple Valley going through a big transition with the Jones brothers no longer in high school. Nice move.
Wow. Oh, wow. Who's this guy?
Jack Thompson stays with it, and it's 7-4.
Senior Jack Thompson, 6'1" senior. not afraid at all. Coming in with the schoolyard playground move. Nice. Holliman with the assist there to Carter.
And that makes it 9-4. Here is Thompson. Drives, and he'll draw the foul.
Kind of a delayed whistle there, Mike.
They are feeding him early and often. And Jason Bird, the St. Thomas Academy head coach, says he can't get Jack Thompson out of the gym enough. He's always working on his game.
Okay. Wonder if he's getting any looks at all here. It's a solid guy. Great form, great rotation.
Led the team in scoring as a sophomore, averaging 19.8 this year and 6.2 rebounds. And Noah Chamberlain averaging close to a double-double. So you've got the experience in Jack Thompson and Mr. Consistency in Noah Chamberlain, both averaging close to 20 a game. King for three. He will shoot early and often from three-point range. Cadets looking to tie it up. They cannot. But the carom goes into Thompson's hands, looking for a kick-out option. He finds it. Nice backdoor, but they can't get the finish.
We got somebody down here.
Karsten Broadley slow to get up, but he returns to form. Amari Carter, his three is long. Rebound Holliman. He's got Curtis Jones out to King. Little side fade.
Tries it, likes it, and buys it. He's here to play, Mike.
Usually when they hesitate like that, it doesn't work out, but for Jaeden King,
I
no
have
big
him down
deal.
for three triples. Thompson right back at you. Thompson.
Jack Thompson is everywhere.
It's a great outlet pass from Tre Holliman. Tre running the show here, taking his time.
I'm sure Tre Holliman gave you fits when you had to go against him at Minneapolis North.
Actually, oh, nice move. Jones.
And there's another guy who could give you fits. And Cretin-Derham Hall's loving it. Curtis Jones with the elbow J. Three on the way. That's long. Another rebound for Thompson.
Oh, lunch money. Great
Thompson.
interior passing. Oh.
That's Tony Wright.
Refs letting them play here.
They're letting him play and give props to the Cadets. Deep
Oh, my
three.
goodness.
Give props to the Cadets. They are not intimidated at all by Cretin-Derham Hall.
Oh, nice move. Running a 5-out set here. Nice drive. Great rebound. Outlet for a three ball.
And Noah Chamberlain finishes the play. 14-13. Raiders
Great
over
composure.
the Cadets.
Guy's not backing off at all.
Amari Carter
I
with
just
the
don't
answer.
know if I want to settle for all those threes. Those guys being so athletic, you gotta. There goes Jones.
I think Curtis Jones heard you. It's a good point you bring up. Jerry Klein Jr. has told me the last 3 or 4 years the game has really put an emphasis on three-point shooting, and it can space the floor if you can knock it down, but like you said, you don't want to be shooting threes all night. Here's a transition look for the Raiders, and they are going to call a foul.
Tom Olin on the call. Looks like he's trimmed up a little bit. Wow.
And
Looks
they're
like
going to
a
hit
new
Tony
man out
Wright.
there.
And they'll give free throws to Jaeden King.
Got a veteran crew out tonight. Tom Olin baseline, and looks like Jeff Mozga at half court. Big Jeff, been around for a while.
Jaeden King, he has scored 20 or more in the last 3 games, including 33 in a win over North St. Paul.
17-13, I have Cretin up here, 4 points. Close game.
King on the season averaging 22.8. He already has 23 triples. His three-point field goal percentage, 33.8, so about average, but he's not afraid to fire away. He's hit 7 3-pointers on 2 occasions this season.
Watch St. Thomas here, transition game. They're going to get it out.
And Jaeden King up to 10 points. Jack
Steady
Thompson.
all the way.
Now, Cretin has held the upper hand, but if they can't find a way to stop Jack Thompson, they're going to have trouble pulling away.
That's what I was waiting on.
A turnover on Holliman. Thompson for 3. Curtis Jones with the board. And in the game is Yanika Fundugala. And that's Jaeden King.
Oh, he got away with a taunt there right afterwards. Be careful on that.
He could have been teed up. We've seen that happen a couple of times.
Oh.
You're right, the refs are letting them play.
Letting them go here.
Tony Wright drew contact. Alley-oop, no good. And the ball ends up in the hands of Charlie Fafinski. Fafinski, one of the several football crossovers, as Chamberlain fires the 3 and draws the foul.
There we go.
He'll shoot 3.
Looks like Tom Wolin is talking to King there, kind of cooling him off a little bit. Cooler heads will prevail. And it looks like St. Thomas is at the line here. Chamberlain hits the first of 2 free throws.
Noah Chamberlain, Mr. Consistency, in the words of Jason Burr.
Two for 2.
At the line this season, Chamberlain shooting 60%, but it's early in the season, so that means he'll have a chance to up that figure over the season. St. Thomas Academy, they've won back-to-back section titles and an offensive rebound. And STA can't capitalize on it. 11:32, 20-17. I was going to say, Ahmil, how do you handle a transition when you go from a team that has a high-profile player and then have to rebuild the way Cretin-Derham Hall had to do this year?
Well, you can make it work. I think that's where the bench comes in handy. If you can get guys that are willing to accept their roles, it can work, you know. It's a lot of time spent in the gym working and conditioning guys and making sure that they understand what's going on.
Holliman for 3. That's off the mark. Because that Cretin-Derham Hall team from last year had 3 D1 highlights on their roster: Oturu, Cy Chapman, and Ryan Larson. That's not easy to replace.
Tre Holliman with the steal. Initiates the fast break, drops it off down low.
Lucas Ammons can't hang on to it, but it was last touched by St. Thomas Academy. And
Coach
something
Klein calling a line here. Traditional line. I think every high school team runs line. Well, Jones
missed the
nobody
3.
Home.
Here come the Cadets.
Coast to coast.
Blocking foul, count it for Jack Thompson.
That's going to get the Cretin fans stirred up here as that call was made right in front of them. I hope they don't start bringing out the...
Well, Phil Archer told me when these two teams are playing, the fans don't like each other all that much.
I don't think they like Tom Wolin right now. They're going to jump on his case next time he comes to baseline there. 3-man crew, but hopefully these guys are coming to work.
Well, you know how it goes. They never like a call that goes against you.
There you go.
But a lot of multi-sport athletes on this court. Cretin-Derham Hall, plenty of football crossovers, including Peter Udoybach, who's going to Minnesota, and STA. Among their team, as King misses the runner, they have the starting quarterback and tight end and a starting lineman from the 5A football team that finished second this year in state.
Chamberlain with the steal. Back to Chamberlain from downtown.
Got it.
Uno, dos, tres.
And that puts
letting them have it.
That puts the Cadets in front, 23-20.
Like their fans are standing over their student section on their feet.
Holliman.
Got to be ready to play here.
3 on the way. Cretin-Derham Hall again settling for those 3-pointers. Another one, and that's long.
Goodness.
And that's Will Burke chasing it down.
Oh my goodness.
3 3-point attempts, and they all
One
come up
possession.
empty.
That's a lot. Dribble handoff. Thompson shake and bake, and he throws it away.
And Will Burke coming up clutch already. Steal, rebound, and Holliman wanted to push. And that's going to be Cretin-Derham Hall basketball.
Oh boy. Who's this guy? 22. It's got to be a Dobak.
That is Udoibak.
Oh man. Jeez. I don't know if it's even a fair game with him on the floor.
6'5", and he'll be wearing the maroon and gold next year. A school that got a big dose of energy after they beat Wisconsin to take home the axe for the first time in 15 years. And not only did they take home the axe, but it made the Gophers Bowl eligible. So they'll be playing on the 26th.
Really? Okay.
It's amazing what one win can do for a program. And here's Holliman, the kick out. Pump fake. And knocking down the baseline J is Ben Gallagher. You know what I like to say about the pump fake?
What's that?
It only works every single time.
Thompson working against. Oh, Holliman. That's got to be his third or fourth steal here.
Holliman to King.
That's got to be 5, 6 assists somewhere in there.
24-23, Cretin-Derham Hall over St. Thomas Academy. Here's Meleben out to Thompson.
Oh.
Needs help. Finds it in Chamberlain.
He's got to do a better job of playing without the ball.
It worked
nice
out
shot.
though for the Cadets. Meleben hits the open 3.
And they're up 2 here, Mike, with 8 and some change. Coach Klein barking out those plays. See, it'd be nice to get something going to the basket, just attack it a little bit. There you go. Because they're so freaking athletic. I mean, you're going to get every rebound. They're getting 2, 3 shots every time down. You just got to put some pressure on the Cadets here.
You were mentioning Tre Holliman and his assist ability. He has a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. And against Apple Valley earlier this season, Holliman recorded 15 dimes, which would be $1.50 in real money, but this kid, highly unselfish, and Jaeden King not afraid to take the initiative on offense. And he credits Ryan Larson for giving him that leadership last year. And how about Noah Chamberlain, the 2-man tandem of Thompson and Chamberlain, keeping St. Thomas Academy right with Cretin-Derham Hall. King for 3.
This guy's not gun shy at all. Whoa, who's this?
That is number 12, Zion Guerra. One of the football crossovers. Zion had a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against Blaine. Steal by the Raiders. King to Amari Carter for a 3-point play.
That's a nice finish. Very unselfish.
Carter with the bucket. And Jerry Klein Jr. will call a timeout. 7:03 left. Well, you've got a pair of teams with a lot of postseason success. Cretin-Derham Hall, as we noted, a state championship. I don't think anyone's going to forget that thriller with Apple Valley. And Daniel Oturu slamming home the winner with a half-second left. And St. Thomas Academy, they've won back-to-back section titles, but were eliminated in the quarterfinal round. But Jason Burr feels, even with those section titles and maybe some unfortunate circumstances, he feels with those younger players getting a taste of what it's like to go to state, you can hold them to higher standards, and they get a little hungrier each year. I think St. Thomas Academy wants to show that they can make a deeper run at state.
Things are going to keep happening because I think with Minnesota basketball, with AU, and then you got your fall ball, I mean, kids are going to continue to work, and the numbers are going to increase every year. So,
well, you consider all the athletes who go D1 in both men and women's basketball.
Not only that, oh, nice.
That would have made the highlight reel.
And he calls that one.
That puts Amari Carter up to 8.
Jason Burr, I'm going crazy because there's no consistency on that. It's the same play on the other end, and they got no contact for Chamberlain.
Amari Carter up to 8. He averages 10.8.
Speaking of points, I don't think Holliman's even scored yet. Has he?
Holliman is yet to score, but
he's got a ton of assists.
Right, and Jerry Klein Jr. praised
worth gold, Mike.
Yeah, he praised his unselfishness, and if you get an assist, well, that means you help create offense, so you'll take it. Now, Amari Carter just a 61% free throw shooter, so he hasn't converted on these three-point play chances, but he is up to 8, and STA almost caught Cretin falling asleep. Things getting a little out of control there. But give props to Carter. He got the block and denied the Cadets a fast break opportunity.
It's kind of interesting, Mike. Nobody caught that error. There was 2 people back in transition for St. Thomas, and the young lady keeping the stats, the only coach that caught it.
Chamberlain. Out to Tony Wright. His 3 is short, and the rebound to Curtis Jones. Deep 3 for King. Bullseye!
King for all the way out from Snelling Avenue. And again, the ref lets him play. No blood, no foul.
But Thomas Odegaard does get the transition look. Jaeden King, he's not done. And we've got a loose ball foul on Cretin-Derham Hall.
I mean, King is letting that thing fly, Mike. He is not gun shy at all. Somebody told me when he's lacing it up in the locker room, he stands up after putting on his shoes and says he's open. I mean, the guy's not gun shy.
He has a green light no matter where he is.
Here we go again, 2-on-1.
He'll shoot over 23.
Thompson, reversal, Chamberlain, nothing. And Cretin sucks up all those loose balls.
This is Curtis Jones out to Holliman. And even though Tre hasn't scored yet, he already has 3 D1 offers. Minnesota, Baylor, and Texas.
Nice. Oh.
And then he gets
Thompson
poked away.
Oh.
And he draws a foul on
So
number
again,
21.
Mike, speaking consistency, I know Jeff Mozger called the little hand tap there, but they're not calling anything going to the basket. Kind of an odd situation.
Cretin not in the penalties, so STA has to side out.
Dribble with your head up, young man. Dribble with your head up.
Raiders on the run. Josiah Remus Ford with the finish.
This kid is making a difference here, 12. I don't know who he is, but he's all over the place.
That's Zion Guerra.
Oh, wow. And they finally get a call down low, Mike. How about that?
And that
Tom Wallen
benefits.
steps up, makes a call.
And that benefits Noah Chamberlain. He'll have a chance at 3. Chamberlain up to 14 points already.
Tell you what, the Raider fan base is growing. They're getting closer and closer to us here.
We've had a few latecomers, and again, it's a rivalry game. So with Cretin-Derham Hall hosting this year, the home crowd always brings something a little extra. I remember those epic Central South games all those years ago. Taylor Hill against the likes of Kiara Buford, Angel Robinson.
Oh, what a pass. Jones. Garrett couldn't finish it, but it was a heck of a pass. Wow. Talk about being unselfish.
And Cretin-Derham Hall, no matter who's wearing the purple and gold, they know they've got athletes, so you don't have to worry about doing everything. You've got plenty of capable teammates out there like Zion Guerra. As I noted, once scored a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against Blaine, a team that went to the semifinals in 6A.
No doubt about that. This guy's got wheels. I mean, his speed alone is causing problems. He's forced at least 2-3 turnovers. He's only been on the floor for about 2-3 minutes.
Yes, you can't beat a rivalry game like this. I did De La Salle Cretin-Derham Hall a couple years ago at De La Salle. That was a packed house, and I remember that Central South meeting the first time, actually both years, when the two teams met at State. I don't think I've ever seen a crowd that big for a girls' basketball game in high school.
Those were the days. Again, the ref lets them play. Holliman stop and go, kicks out.
Jones missing the three. High carom goes to Jaeden King. Misses the runner, and a loose ball foul on the Raiders. That will send STA to the line.
I think Jones just picked up the second there.
It is. Now looking at the crowd size, it's a little larger for Cretin-Derham Hall, but St. Thomas Academy, they brought some folks here as well.
Kind of surprised because there's a lot of kids out tonight, and I think there's no more school for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, everyone's on winter break for the next week and a half or so. But it's a rivalry.
Oh, and he missed the layup. Oh! Wow. No blood, no foul. Again.
Charlie Fafinski scores, but Fondengala, he took a hard hit.
I think they're going to have to get him out of the game because his head kind of thumped the ground pretty good there. With the concussion rule in effect, you may have to get that guy checked out. As he gets a big round of applause leaving the floor there, Mike, but I'm sure his head clunked against the floor.
It was a thud. It looks to be okay, but we'll see what happens. 4:20 left in the first half.
Looks like they want to get something inside here. Just tried to post up Tre Holliman. Tre with the baseball pace.
And Ben Gallagher stepped out of bounds. A lot of coaches can be sheepish about those cross-court skips, especially in the half-court set.
I don't know, Mike. Under 5 minutes going into half, you know, I want the energy. I want that momentum. I'm going to call a play every time down unless it's a transition breakaway. And it's just my style. Not knocking anybody. See both coaches kind of in a chess match now. We're under 4. Whoa.
King with the steal. The skip to Carter. 3 is long.
You know, if somebody just took a charge right now, that would change the whole complexion of the game.
3 on the way for the Cadets, and it's pure.
And here we go. 38 all, 3 and some change. Now Cretin's calling some sets here. This is Carter at the point.
Cretin-Derham Hall says right back at you. Karsten Broadley gets on the board. And it's 41-38.
Thompson with the step back. I love this kid's game, man. I've never seen this kid play before, but I love his game. Solid.
And that defines St. Thomas Academy. They may not have the headliners the way Cretin-Derham Hall did last year with Daniel Oturu or Minnehaha Academy and Jalen Suggs, but they've got athletes. And they bought into Jason Burr's system, and we've got a foul on St. Thomas Academy. They had 2 to give. And even in a game like this, a lot of energy, a lot of pride. So St. Thomas Academy, they've got athletes. They may not be the stars, but they know how to play, and it's a well-oiled machine over at
what, I mean, just looking off the scoreboard, looks like they still got a couple more to burn for the bonus. Well, one to burn.
One to burn, but yeah, St. Thomas Academy is not to be underestimated. They had Sam Basilero, who scored 1,000 points last year. Noah Chamberlain, he got to that mark this year.
Guy's not backing off either.
Or getting closer, I should say. Jack Thompson was the one who scored 1,000, and Noah Chamberlain is up to 16 on that fast break play. Will Burke. Baseline J does not drop. Broadly blocked. Stays with it. And there is
you got Thompson open. He had Thompson wide open.
Well, Fondangala draws the blocking foul, but you're right. Thompson, he was waiting for it. On the kick out, Fondangala didn't see him.
Probably just didn't want to turn it over.
So Fondangala to the line. Averages 3.5 a game, only 2 free throw attempts all season. That's the first foul on Broadley.
And again, Mike, the only way you make this thing in mesh when different kids come together, when you got so much talent on the floor, everybody's got to know their role. This kid at the line, Yanika, he's got so much speed. If he could just get out there and just get his hands in the passing lane and just cause some trouble, I mean, he could turn the table, literally change the whole complexion of the game. He's not scoring, but he's got to use his speed somehow to kind of cause some problems and help the cadets out a little bit.
Fondangala misses both free throws.
Here we go. A minute and a half here until halftime.
King, 15-footer.
Nobody home. Chamberlain sucks up another rebound. And he finds a wide open guy.
Thompson, the kick out. Nice recognition.
Thompson.
That kid is everywhere.
And he's got the matchup he wants here. He's waving guys off. He's got the matchup he wants with a minute left. With the step back.
Whoa, Noah Chamberlain leaps up for the tap in.
And he's tapping it up. They're up 3 under a minute.
You don't see that often. Here's Holliman. Blocked by Fondangala. And that will be
wow.
Cretin-Derham Hall ball. Thompson, he hit the baseline while diving for it, and
that's a questionable call. Where's the instant replay on that?
I wasn't sure, yeah.
We're under a minute. Can we go and review that?
Yeah, it was close.
He fell over, and then he took a swipe at it. I didn't see him really hitting it. I have to go back and look at the tape on that one.
That was close.
I'll leave it alone. Some people may say home cooking, though. Non-conference games.
I would say I don't wear
coach can hire whoever he wants.
I would say I don't wear the stripes, but we don't wear stripes anymore if you're an official.
Not in Minnesota.
They have the NBA look, if you will.
I just don't like that shot. They don't want to force anything. They missed 2 bunnies here. 30 seconds.
And a chance for the Cadets to extend the lead.
I don't think Jack's going to pass this one off, but he's got a great defender in front of him. It's a good move by Coach Klein by leaving that kid out there. This Garrett kid is all over the place.
Thompson will drive and get the roll.
Very crucial. Whoever walks into the locker room with that type of momentum.
And that momentum will belong to St. Thomas Academy. 46-41 the score at halftime. Noah Chamberlain with 18 and Jack Thompson relentless 15 points. I don't know how many rebounds he's got. He's got to have close to a double-double. The St. Thomas Academy team, they showed up to play tonight. And the fans, sensing this strong first half run, could lead to a big statement win.
Well, you heard their fans. This is our house. I don't think they're going to back off, including the fans.
And they should not with that first half performance. We'll take a quick break and recap the first half for you. This is high school boys basketball. STA leads CDH 46-41. If you'd like to sponsor a TSP television broadcast, Patreon is the place. Sponsorships start at just $1 a month. Visit patreon.com/TSP television and make a pledge for premier Twin Cities sports coverage. And we are back at the Joe Mauer Fieldhouse. St. Thomas Academy with a 5-point lead over the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders, 46-41. Mike Peden and Ahmil Jihad with you. You look at the first half numbers. Ahmil, Jack Thompson, he was everywhere in the first half. 15 points. He was getting after rebounds. That kid, Jack Thompson, number 3, is a big reason why the Cadets are up 5. And Noah Chamberlain with 18 certainly playing a part too. Here's Broadley for 3. That's off the rim. Now we noticed this in the first half.
Going into half, like I said, Mike, if you allow these guys any type of hope, it's going to be a problem second half. They are not going to back off. It's almost like a pit bull loose in the neighborhood.
And Cretin-Derham Hall in the first half, they went to the 3 ball a lot. I know you wanted to see them go after it inside a little more.
You know, just attack the rim, you know, put some pressure on them to play defense.
Oh,
like I said,
they are really letting them play.
That's a nice find. Holliman has enough composure to find Udoi block underneath the basket.
Another crew might have called Holliman on the elbow there, but Udoibach scores.
They are letting these guys play. Wow.
I mean,
wow.
You've heard of officials letting the players settle this. They are really letting them on some plays here. They have called a few fouls, but you're right. In most cases, the officials are letting the players settle this one. And then they call the push on Thomas Odegaard.
Tom Wolin, I'll tell you, the DeVito amongst the divines. What kind of call was that? The guy stepped out. I don't know.
Basketball is a strange game. Holliman has yet to score, but Karsten Broadley gets the second chance bucket to fall. And if Cretin-Derham Hall can get inside a little more, they've got the players to do it.
Got a chance to talk to Renee Pulley at a halftime. He's sitting down here in the lower left corner. So he's keeping an eyeball on Holliman. I'm sure he's kind of sizing him up. And I'm sure he'll be with the Pulley program again this summer coming up.
And Jim Robinson is here as well.
Oh, yeah. Keeping an eye on those officials.
And he's also on the Mr. Basketball Committee, so he's keeping an eye on the officials and potential candidates.
That's great. I love to see people out, especially when the weather's decent. Get out and support these kids.
Well, and Jim Robinson, he's a guy who is everywhere. I see him at Lynx games all the time. He's always got a seat in press row, so it doesn't matter men or women, he's out there supporting basketball. One of the biggest celebrities in the sport, if you will.
Guy's like an icon.
Tre Holliman, his first trip to the line. Holliman, 67.9%. And Holliman had a coming out party, if you will, last year as an 8th grader. He was a starter, and he played a big role in key games for Minneapolis North. Hit 2 big free throws in a win over Caledonia. I don't know what he was like to go against for Edison, but a lot of folks.
North was so loaded last year. I mean,
they were.
We didn't really feel his presence. Of course, he did some nice things, but some of their seniors and juniors kind of overshadowed him. I just want to see Tre get a little bit stronger, and that'll come.
Well, Holliman, he's the first freshman to get a D1 offer from Richard Pitino at Minnesota. And I've got a feeling as the years move along, he'll have plenty of opportunities, plenty of choices on where he wants to go for college. If
Absolutely.
3 D1 schools are offering him now as a freshman, he'll probably have 30, if not more, by the time he's a senior.
Well, you got to hold off on that stuff. There's other stuff to worry about, ACT testing.
There's a few other things, yes.
Oh, yeah. Having a great spring and summer. I mean, you could probably hold off.
But
I wouldn't rush that thing.
Oh, no. And knowing his mother, I'm sure that's exactly the case. She's going to make sure.
And he's got plenty of support. I see mom and stepdad here, so plenty of support.
Well, plenty of basketball IQ, too. His mother coaches here at Cretin-Derham Hall now. Of course, you may remember her as a member of the Gophers back in '94, reaching the NCAA tournament. And she coached for a time in college hoops at Concordia and at Minnesota.
Tre's got to hustle back. You're not going to make every basket. Give me that!
Speaking of hustle,
Doibach.
here's King with the leaner. Holliman with the O-board. Jones for 3. Bullseye.
Jones can really shoot that thing, man. I'm telling you. Of course, he's not going to kind of show up all over the stat board, but he can really shoot that thing.
Jason Burr calls a timeout. The Raiders starting the second half on a 7-2 run. So they trailed by 5 to start the half. It's 50-48 now. And on this timeout, we were discussing a little bit about rivalries. You know, you've coached at South, you coached at Edison. Were there any games, of course you look forward to every game, but were there any games that you knew were going to be events like we've got tonight?
Absolutely. Anytime you're coaching at South, whether it be men's or women's basketball over there, the Roosevelt deal is always going to be a sellout. And then when Washburn comes over, it's always a good game as well. So you got many rivalries and huge, big rivalries as well. And it's always nice to have that kind of stuff, especially with high school, because the kids look forward to that stuff. I mean, what better way to spend your time on a Friday night, and better yet, in the gymnasium, supporting your team. And I tell you what, even with Edison now, went over last year, those guys, the year before we took over that program, they only had 1 win registered. Last year we recorded 7 wins, and right now we're at 5 wins. Oh,
that was close. Melee bend almost at the backcourt, and that's a tough foul there. Curtis Jones trying to get the steal. And you were saying, trying to turn that program around, it can be a gradual process. You go from 1 win, you got 7, and of course at Edison and just about everywhere else that isn't named Minneapolis North, you've got a tall order with North still at the top of the conference, but building up 1 step at a time.
kind of spun right into the trap.
Jaeden King with the finish. He had 19 in the first half. And that's Melee Ben. He comes up short.
Looks like Coach Klein and Coach Burr going to their benches early here.
And even with all the changes at Cretin-Derham Hall, their depth has impressed me considerably. And We see the Raiders backing off. King in the corner. Can't get the bounce, and
getting sloppy here, and the ref's letting them play.
Broadly. Whoa! At the last possible moment, Thompson gets the save. And Chamberlain draws a foul. He'll shoot
Coach,
two.
Tell you what, the officiating is still a mystery here. At the very last second, he calls a delayed whistle with the drive there. You know, a kid that's working that hard, that's played the whole game, I don't care. He deserves a whistle.
Noah Chamberlain, 2 20-point games this season and 2 double-doubles.
He nails the front end of a free throw here. Chamberlain, solid, 6'6" kid. I don't know what he's got cooking next year, but he's rock solid.
Well, Chamberlain will be heading to Southwest Minnesota State, the D2 member of the NSIC.
And, of course, the officials go over and remind them that they can't coil up those waistbands. How important is that? Pretty interesting.
Well, and a lot of officials tell me, they try to pass along instruction like that, as Chamberlain gets both to fall.
Cretin going into their high post offense.
Udoibach draws a foul. He'll shoot two.
Kid has great hands. A lot of the passes that they're throwing him are just kind of lobs and little tight lobs and short lobs, and he's just sucking all those balls up. He's going and getting all that stuff. So he got great hands.
Is it me, or do the bleachers feel like they're shaking over here? Of course, you got a lot of folks in attendance.
It's kind of like we're calling a game at Lake Minnetonka and we're in a boat.
Will Burke gets the O-board. Udoibach charges, and that will be a charge. He charged into the lane and charged a little too hard. Just his first personal foul. 53-50, Raiders over the Cadets, 12:46 left in a big rivalry game.
At some point, Coach Klein and his staff has got to be thinking, you know, just get some speed on the floor and just wear these guys down and get them out of here.
Amari Carter with the steal. There's another example of the refs letting them play. King could have drawn a foul there, but we play on. Side fade for Thompson. His three is short, and the STA fans make their opinion
Thompson with
heard.
the pick. I love that kid. He's not going anywhere.
Steel trap mind Jack Thompson has. If he makes a mistake, no biggie. He'll just stay with it. Holliman out to Carter. Now King has it. Either side is led by more than 5. Maybe 6.
The Cadets are so willing to give up their chest and get on the floor. That's going to be critical, too. Guys just not afraid. Look at this.
Back door.
Here we go. Back and forth, Mike.
And St. Thomas Academy is doing all this with a 7-player rotation.
Quite impressive.
Another charge. This time it's on Holliman. Now there is the restricted zone. As you know, that rule put into place this year.
The kids were lining up for a free throw. Nobody knew what was going on.
All right, they were lining up, but I did see the charge signal.
And that sends him to the bench with a couple of fouls here. He's not exactly having the best second half here.
Thompson.
Well, this is a great matchup here. I think he's going to try and cook this kid.
Foul before the shot.
A little competition going on with the student section.
We see a few Cretin-Derham Hall alumni making a visit, including a couple members from the girls team that reached state last year, Haley Moore and Autumn Mendez.
I wonder how the women's program is doing.
Well, they're rebuilding because much like the boys team, Cretin-Derham Hall, they lost a lot of the people responsible for that
Nice
state tournament
move.
run.
Got to attack that, though.
Outlet pass, a little too long. Raiders will have to run a set play. They won't get that chance. Sloppy passes, and
The Garrett kid back on the floor, he's going to cause some problems. Like I mentioned earlier, Mike, that's going to be a factor. If Klein chooses to stick with this group here, this is the group that really made some problems for the cadets there.
54-53, 10-12 left. One of the big rivalry games. It's a date you circle on the calendar every year if you're a fan of these two schools.
That's a nice rebound by Carter. Over to Jones.
Action is slowed down a bit in the second half.
Be patient sometimes. Oh,
Guerra ran into a wall. Thompson drives, no good. How big would this win be for St. Thomas Academy? Long way to go, but it's been over a decade since they last beat Cretin-Derham Hall in this series. But Karsten Bradley wants to keep that John Ireland trophy right here on the campus of Cretin-Derham Hall. They'll have a chance at 3. Bradley averaging 5.8 a game. And another timeout called by the Cadets. I believe they have 3 remaining.
Again, kind of interesting because first half they were letting all that go. Kid goes baseline and gets hit with a love tap and they send him to the line. So I don't see a lot of consistency here. And I'm wondering if that's going to play a part in going down the stretch the last 2-3 minutes here if it stays this way.
And after a high-flying first half, we've seen both teams pull back a little bit, a little more patience exhibited. The Cretin-Derham Hall student section having a little fun with themselves. You gotta love the chants that go back and forth. Although my personal favorite, going back to that Central-South rivalry, was 612, 651. I don't think you'll be able to top dueling area codes.
Cadets hauling down those rebounds here, trying to control the glass with some of the Cretin stars on the bench, but looks like Klein is going back to his bench. He's going to get these guys back in there.
Yep, I see King and Holliman ready to get back in there. A bump for Thompson.
Thompson with the NBA move.
Off balance, and he drains it.
A little dream shake in there.
Thompson, he's come up big tonight. Well, he'll be fun to watch, and St. Thomas Academy, they could be a front runner in the Metro East. A lot of folks thought it would be Model Meat Conference, STA.
I am very impressed with Jason Burr's squad. And like I said, he's got a wealth of knowledge on that bench. Tyrone Tholman, old school Percy Wade.
And not to mention the knowledge Jason Burr has with the path he's taken over the years.
Uh-oh, Carter. Nobody home, Mike. Again, that's like 8 or 9 missed layups for the Cadets. I mean, for the Raiders.
Drive to the rim, no good, and no call.
Here
Wow.
we go with the consistency. Now, the last time down, a guy breathed on him, he called a foul.
Fafinski barreled into Amari Carter, and they let it go.
It's kind of like a bull in a china shop.
Well, you don't see that often.
No consistency. Oh, nice play. Chamberlain.
Chamberlain up to 22, just 3 points in the second half, but that happens to be the lead for the Cadets. 58-55. Mike Peden and Ahmil Jihad with you.
Got to run some solid set here. Get some good sets in, draw some fouls, get guys under control. You got to set better screens on that.
Broadly for 3. No good. There's Carter with the O board, and he'll shoot 2. And still a lot of time left, so no need to panic if you're Cretin-Derham Hall.
Carter's just a full-fledged athlete. Kind of hangs around, gets his hands on a lot of balls. He's got to set better screens, though. The execution is going to be everything, especially when it comes down to section and region time.
And Cretin-Derham Hall, they are in a tough section. It wasn't any different a year ago, but there was a lot of preseason hype for Eastridge and a couple of their D1 prospects, North St. Paul. They got that big one over De La Salle. It was a shorthanded De La Salle team, but that's lit a fire underneath the Polars. And
Brown
Tartan is
boys
always
out
in
there
the
at
mix.
Eastridge, huh?
And Tartan's always in the mix. They have a long history with Mark Klingsporn over there. And how about White Bear Lake? They're undefeated. They beat Cretin-Derham Hall earlier this week.
It's going to be a tough run. And then I noticed North St. Paul knocked off De La Salle.
I mentioned,
De La Salle.
yes. Even though De La Salle didn't have Tyrell Terry, a road win against the #1 team in 3A is a big deal. And even Stillwater had a great start. They won their first 4 games of the year after winning.
Stillwater is rock solid.
After winning 4.
Don't sleep on Stillwater.
Right. You're right. The Ponies won a total of 4 games last year. They won their first 4 games of the year this year.
Oh, man.
Section 4-4A could be a lot of fun to follow. Whoa! A wide open layup, and Thomas Meleben couldn't finish. Holliman for 3, and 1! An electric way to get your first field goal of the entire game.
I just want to see him be a little bit more solid, kind of playing for the crowd right now.
Timeout, St. Thomas Academy. Tre Holliman had not made a bucket until that play right there.
Yeah. I know he's trying hard. He's a young kid. But I just like to see him do a few more things, knowing how to draw the body contact. And a lot of kids, they understand that, I would encourage him to go back and look at some of those old Tyus tapes. Even better yet, some of the old Khalid El-Amin tapes. I mean, as an 8th grader, he commanded so much attention. He knew how to get it off the dribble. He would literally embarrass guys. But again, we're talking 2 different players.
Right.
Khalid was literally in the incubator as a point guard. Everybody knew it. He walked out on the court and everybody knew he was a point guard. I think Tre is still trying to learn that spot over.
Well, he's off to a good start, again averaging close to 10 assists a game, and over time, he may pass that double-digit mark.
Oh, you can't call that now. Come on.
6:43 left.
Tom Rowland. And here we go with the student section. The Raiders with some of the rated R chants. We got to keep it PG in here, or should I say G?
It was Phil Archer, the AD, who said these two schools, when it comes to the student sections, they don't like each other.
Jones kind of flat on that shot. Chamberlain with another rip down. He's got to have a double here.
Feels like Jack Thompson could have one too at the end of this. With his performance
just
in the first half.
Just want to see some decent calls down the stretch here. We're getting down to the 6:21 and some change here. Just don't want to see any goofy calls.
And it's still anyone's game. STA will go to the backcourt, which you can do off an inbound. Now, we were discussing Cretin-Derham Hall's section 4-4A. St. Thomas Academy.
Somebody else got to step up for Cretin. Come on. I mean, for St. Thomas.
There's Thompson. He can't get the bounce.
Number 2's got to try and get a few shots off.
Foul, and Carter will shoot a pair. St. Thomas Academy in the penalty. I was going to say St. Thomas Academy out in Section 3. They are going to be the heavy favorites, it looks like, but Holy Angels, they haven't recorded any signature wins yet, but Holy Angels, they're 7-0 after winning 9 games last year. Well, that team
those
is
two kids that came over from Washburn, you know, Charles and Emmett, I forget their last name right now, but those kids can play. Actually, the younger of the two, Emmett, I believe, the 9th grader, and then Charles, the older brother, the senior. They can really get after it. I had a chance to watch Holy Angels at Washburn, and they took those guys down.
The Holy Angels could be a dark horse in Section 3-3A. Amari Carter makes both free throws.
It's another team that's really, really heavily favors the 3-ball. I know they have another big guy over there. Holy Angels goes about 6'6", 6'7", and he just sits on the 3-point line. So,
and entering this game, Holy Angels, the highest scoring team out of that section, 79.7 a game. And White Bear Lake, we were mentioning them earlier, 6-0. They score 80 a game. Of course, Eastridge will be the big test for the Bears. I think everyone was tapping Eastridge to perhaps not only win the section, but maybe win state. But year after year, we've seen it in 4A. You never know who's going to come out with that title. There are lots of great candidates every year. Well, look at last year's championship. Came down to the final play. And that's one of many reasons why in boys basketball, when you get to those 3A, 4A championships, Target Center, they have to go to the upper deck to fit in all those fans. So we're known as a hockey state, but we've got a lot of hoopers as well.
Oh my goodness.
Chance for the Raiders to pull ahead. And Curtis Jones will do just that. Holliman with another dime. Jones up to 10 on that triple.
Tell you what, Jones is making me look like a mastermind out here. I mentioned that in the pregame, that
foul on the Raiders.
This kid has the potential to change the complexion of any game.
Yeah, and he goes from a South team that has had their share of struggles to a Cretin-Derham Hall team, defending state tournament champions, but just a difference in culture as well. You have that winning culture. You've got the section titles and a lot of history. You know, they've only won a couple of state titles, 93 and 2018, but don't forget, Cretin-Derham Hall, when they were in Section 3, they were the team that upset Tyus Jones in his senior season in the section final. Chamberlain, got it.
He's solid.
And that's
they can get a couple of stops here, and then I think the Tony Wright kid, number 2, the senior, the little guard, he's got to do a little bit more offensively. But I think they're in position to make some things happen. 5 and some change. Oh, you got to take that charge.
Jaeden King with the bucket. But this
King kid is a wild animal. He doesn't care. He's coming at you. He's coming after you.
Backdoor.
Can't have any more turnovers.
Well, there was a deflection. It was deflected off the Raiders, but all right, that's a bucket you need. You can't afford to have any miscues if you're St. Thomas Academy. They were up by 5.
Fangudala back on the floor.
And we haven't heard much out of Jack Thompson or Chamberlain in the second half. That's
Somebody else has got to step up outside of Jack or either. There you go, number 2. That's all you got to do. Just attack the rack. Tony Wright goes to the line here.
And
attack the rack.
And that puts the Raiders in the penalties. So with 4:37 left, from here on out, we're shooting free throws. But Tony Wright with just 6 points. He averages 10.7 a game. 8 of 11 from the line coming into tonight. And Jaeden King trying to rally his troops in the fan section. But Wright makes both free throws. Can the Cadets get a stop here? They trail by 6. Still a lot of time to go. Tony Wright, something he has to keep an eye on. He has 4 fouls. You're not going to sub him out now. King.
The guy's a wild animal. He doesn't care. He smells blood when he walks on the floor.
That kid has the green light no matter where he is. Wright missing the 3, and the rebound goes to Carter. Wright got to be careful with those 4 fouls. Holliman entry pass was lost, but Cretin's going to win the scrum. And Jerry Klein Jr. calls another timeout, 3:59 left.
Coach Klein a little animated here.
When isn't he?
Tell you what.
He gets around, though. He was at that White Bear Lake Matamidi game last night, which the Bears won in double overtime. He lives in that area. And Jaeden King told me the next time those two meet, Cretin's going to be ready for him. They felt a little sting after losing to them last night, but, you know, in this sport, you can attest to this, especially in boys basketball, you got to bring it every night because you never know what can happen.
Well, one thing that I see tonight is that Cretin came out with high intensity, having fun, getting after it, but that seems like at halftime it kind of hit a wall. And you just don't want to exhale going into a game at home where you're down a point or two and, you know, you got somebody, a worthy opponent across the floor ready to take it to you. You just got to be ready. You know, you want to maintain that high intensity level and keep that thing going throughout the game. And I've kind of sensed some drop-offs here tonight, so we'll see what happens. 3 and some change, Mike. I don't know. I don't think this thing is over. Gotta show that hunger. Looks like the Raider fan base is getting into it here a little bit.
Well, Cretin-Derham Hall looking to get back above 500. St. Thomas Academy, they'd love to have a win like this on their resume.
Trying to get that ball to King.
Like you said, he's a beast out there.
Wild animal, man.
And that's the 5th foul on Tony Wright. So St. Thomas Academy losing one of their starters. But King, his quickness off the dribble makes him tough to stop.
Yeah, I would assume that guys would look at this game tape, anybody in the same section, and look to take charges against Cretin and get some of those guys off the floor. You know, Joe Heiser, a good friend of mine over at South, this guy lives and dies with the charge. You know, his kids are always looking to take charges.
Jaeden King heading to Western Illinois. I believe Isaac Johnson of Minneapolis North is over there. Isaac was something of an enforcer at Minneapolis North.
Isaac, tough player.
He was.
His game actually got a lot better as he went through high school there. His junior and senior year, he was phenomenal.
Well, ever since Larry McKenzie took over that program, we got a wedgie. And that will mean Raiders ball on the possession arrow.
Amari Carter stepping in, assisting the ref with the wedgie ball there.
Raiders can go for the dagger here, perhaps. Holliman almost lost it. Here's Carter to the rim. Peter Udoy back. Rebound. Can't get the put back. That's Amari Carter. Like you said, he's making a big difference here in the second half.
His athleticism, if he just understands, Mike, just you know, hey, my role is just to go out here and just grit and grind the whole game. Just put that hard hat and lunch pail, bring it into the gym, park that thing on the side, and let's go to work. If he understands that role, they're going to be fine.
Amari Carter padding his numbers, and these last few minutes, this may be where depth comes into play. St. Thomas Academy, again, playing mostly 7. Cretin-Derham Hall. Jerry Klein Jr. not afraid to mix it up. Well, a couple of games I've seen, he's gone 10-11 deep.
That guy at the line, though, again, he's one of those hard hat and lunch pail type guys. He's just got to grind.
Well, Carter averaging close to 11 a game before tonight. Charlie Fafinski scores, but
Thompson with another assist.
St. Thomas Academy running out of time. Cretin-Derham Hall fans yelling, "Start the buses," as they look to hang on to that John Ireland trophy for another year. Holliman out to Carter. Goes up.
Got to take the charge, Mike. Come on. Got to take the charge.
Fafinski looked like he was outside the restricted zone.
Two and some change. They can get a bucket off this deal. It'll be like a nail in the coffin.
King, step back. That went over the backboard. Cadets not out of this. They get the stop. They can convert on this possession.
We need one good possession here, Mike. You know, I would try and isolate and go at one of the bigger guys. I think somebody's got 3 fouls out here.
Thompson and Chamberlain had a terrific first half. Fondengala sees a lane. Draws a blocking foul.
In the restricted area.
That's right.
The ref hesitated and even looked down, but he got it right.
Well, remember, that's a new rule put in this year. Everyone's still getting used to it, but that was the right call. Bradley was inside the zone, and as you know, any part of the body, if it goes inside that restricted arc, you're not going to get the call. A big play for Unica Fondengala.
Fondengala with enough guts to go in there and try and pull it off. And he can't get the roll to seal the deal.
Cretin with the ball. Fondengala struggling from the line tonight, 0 for 3, but it is a 2-possession game.
Fondengala!
Holliman with the rejection.
Looks like the Joe Mauer Fieldhouse has come alive here.
1:55 left. Holliman defending his territory. I know we're used to seeing him drop dimes like John Stockton back in the day, but that's a big block. 3, no good. Chamberlain with the steal, and he lost it. Peter Yadoy back, making a big play on defense. King fakes the 3, goes up, and that's a big-time bucket for Jaeden King. He's up to 29. Chamberlain trying to get some space. Fires a contested shot. St. Thomas Academy ball.
1 and some change here. I think they're going to go back to that same play.
And Cretin-Derham Hall calls another timeout with 1:27 on the clock.
Cretin just a little flat-footed here because nobody defended Thompson on that leak-out 3 there.
It didn't go in, though, so the Raiders dodging it for now, but yeah, you don't want to give them that lifeline.
It's not in the bag yet, Mike.
No, and that's why I say don't give them the lifeline. It's only an 8-point game. So Jaeden King, 29 points, averaging over 20 a game coming into tonight. And they will have the trophy presentation with the John Ireland Trophy. One of 2 the Raiders play for every year. The other is the Christian Brothers Traveling Trophy with the De La Salle Series. That's also in the Cretin-Derham Hall trophy case. They hope it will stay there, but that's another game. Well, you think this crowd is big. Wait till you see that Cretin De La Salle series. If you ever get a chance to check that out, it's worth the ticket.
Okay.
It's a girls-boys doubleheader, and you got to get there before the girls' game starts to get a good seat. That's all I can tell you.
Well, on this, it's been a fun game. I just hope that Cretin can kind of seal the deal here. I hope these guys are not thinking about getting home playing that National Fortnite or whatever they're doing. Yeah, a couple of young men here online having a good time with it.
Wow, they don't know what they're missing.
Just be careful putting mom and dad's credit card up. Somebody's stealing your identity. Been hearing a lot of warning about that on CCO radio.
Well, I'm not one of them, so.
Thompson with the leaner. Whoa! How about that? And Berg goes to the drawing board, down 6.
And if nothing else, maybe he calls that timeout.
Took 1 second off the clock, I think, here.
Right. Maybe 3 seconds, and maybe that's why he called the timeout, stop the clock. Because like you said, the Cadets, they still have a lifeline. And how about Jack Thompson, 21 points, and he's made a couple of NBA-like moves.
I never saw anybody put a hand up or close out on the guy. So, again, I hope these guys are not thinking about rushing home and playing Fortnite.
Fortnite or Christmas shopping. Well, there's only a few days for those who observe it.
Fortnite out.
I don't think the Raiders are focused on that, but they will take part.
I've seen some crazier things happen with less than a minute left.
They'll take part in a holiday tournament at St. Thomas next week. They'll play Benilde St. Margaret's, who's playing De La Salle tonight in Egan.
Fangudala back out there. He's got a little bit of speed. See what Coach Klein comes up with. See if he comes with the long ball play. Like I said, just a lot of good coaches here tonight on the coaching staff. You see Coach Percy Wade leaning back. He has tons of experience. I can remember when I was a kid playing, he was at De La Salle coaching.
And he won a state tournament at Bloomington Kennedy.
Watch the long ball.
When Jenna Smith was
there. Watch the long ball.
All right. And St. Thomas Academy with 10 fouls, so the Raiders in the double bonus. Jaeden King with the throwdown. And that is his second 30-point game this season. Thompson left that one short. Fondengala chases it down. And wide open. Oh, no! Fafinski with the miss, and too many point-blank chances have come up empty for the Cadets, and that might be enough. Carter will back off.
It's the best thing I've seen yet. Have some composure. There you go, young man.
Right.
Amari Carter pull back on the reins, try to secure the win. You're up 8 with 40 seconds left. Who needs another highlight reel?
Right, and at this stage
Let's
of the
get
game,
out of this thing safely.
At this stage of the game, right, make them foul you.
We got a lot of guys sitting behind the bench over there that I see came off that state championship team.
The first in 25 years at Cretin-Derham Hall. And another note in the news, a few days ago, they retired Joe Mauer's number, or they made the announcement right here at Cretin-Derham Hall. The field house in his name.
Tell you what, he was a sight to see when he played here in high school ball. Played with Sean Swinney, who's on the Detroit Pistons coaching staff.
Chamberlain for 3. That's short. And too many missed opportunities here for the Cadets. Just 23 points in the second half. They had 46 in the first.
St. Thomas gets the ball back. 35 seconds left in the ball game. See what they can come up with.
And it looks
I think this is the deal where Thompson comes out for the 3. Oh, Carter steals the inbound.
And Jaeden King with an encore. No.
He gets hung. Pull the ball back out, young man.
Holliman with another steal, and Cretin's defense coming up
very
clutch.
Unselfish. That's why people love Tre.
And even with the win in hand, Cretin-Derham Hall's defense still going after it. That is a big reason why they're going to come out with the win. And does it seem odd to you that STA is doing the Daddy's Money chant? We've got two private schools going at it, but big win for the Raiders tonight. Fondengala scores. And Jaeden King, 33 points, matching his season high, which he recorded against North St. Paul last week. The Raiders will keep the John Ireland Trophy, 81-71 the final. And here come the students to storm the court. This isn't quite an upset, if you will, but anytime there's a rivalry, you want to support your brethren in the purple and gold.
10-point game. Both clubs played hard. Thoroughly impressed with Coach Bird's team. They were very well prepared and ready to go. They have nothing to be ashamed about. You guys got after it.
They certainly did, and I think it came down to, I think depth played a big role tonight in this one. Cretin-Derham Hall having more of it, and defense, especially late in the second half, denying a lot of opportunities for the Cadets. And how about Jaeden King, 33 points. Like you said, he's an animal. That guy's got a green light, and that's what makes him a D1 commit. He may not be the most efficient player out there, but he never quits.
Yeah, he got after it. The guy's definitely not gun shy. He's looking for shots. He's going to attack the basket, did all the right things tonight, and made his team successful, Only criticism I would have of Cretin is that kind of fell off, the intensity fell off at halftime, and they got to attack the rack a little bit more. But I think Coach Klein will put it all together. I think by February they're going to be good to go. I think Holliman, the young kid, is going to be fine. I like Jones a lot. I think he fits in well with this group, and the bigs are always working hard for them.
A lot of potential with this Cretin-Derham Hall team, and it's going to be fun to see that evolve as the season moves along. But they get a big win over the number 5 team in Class 3A as they present the John Ireland Traveling Trophy. And it will stay in the trophy case for another year at Cretin-Derham Hall. We'll try to get a word with Jaeden King before we wrap it up here from Cretin-Derham Hall in St. Paul. The Raiders beat the Cadets 81-71. If you'd like to sponsor a TSP television broadcast, Patreon is the place. Sponsorships start at just $1 a month. Visit patreon.com/TSP television and make a pledge for premier Twin Cities sports coverage. And I'm joined by Jaeden King. Jaeden, your second 30-point game this season, 33 tonight, and your second half performance played a big role in getting Cretin-Derham Hall another win in this rivalry.
I mean, I'm just blessed to be here, man. We had a great game. We came back from a tough loss from White Bear, but we came together all week and practiced hard, so we was ready.
Do you always have a green light to shoot the ball?
Always. I've earned that. I've earned that from Coach. I've earned that. I put the hours in, coming every morning to shoot, coming after school, after practice. I'm always here.
Well, I wasn't questioning that, but it's rare for a player to shoot the way you do or to have the confidence to take all those shots. And then Tre Holliman with a 4-point play, I think that was another big sequence. What was the difference between the first half and the second half where you go from trailing by 5 to a 10-point win?
I say at halftime, Coach just told us that we just need to calm down. We were taking 2 fast shots. He just told us to slow down, run our offense, and that's exactly what we did, and we got the dub in the end. So I'm blessed for that.
What does this rivalry mean to you? It's one of 2 you play every year. You've got a trophy, and all 4 years you've won it. Cretin-Derham Hall, they've won this for over a decade. What makes this night so special?
This trophy means everything to our school. I mean, we got a huge rivalry between us. We play each other in every sport. I mean, it's just like the environment tonight was amazing. It's just something we all live for.
And certainly a great prelude to the holidays. 4-3, a big win. What has the growth process been like for this team where, last year you got a lot of wins early. You had that big 3 that you spoke of the last time we were here. This year, a lot of younger faces.
We're a whole new team. We got to make our own identity. Last year was last year. I mean, we have a bunch of great players that came in, like Curtis Jones, a great shooter. Carson Bradley, a great shooter. And then you got Tre. I don't have to say much about him. A great point guard. That's all I have to say.
All right, so 2 30-point games. Are we going to see a 40-point game out of you before the season's out?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
You want to say hi to anybody?
Hey, Mom, part 2. What's up, man?
I'm on part 2, and hopefully many more parts to come out of Jaeden King. Congrats on the win, and enjoy the holidays.
Thank you. Yeah, have a nice holiday. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, you too. Jaeden King of Cretin-Derham Hall. That wraps it up here from St. Paul. Everyone, enjoy your holiday break. Until next time, I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.